Hello and welcome to Horrorfied, the show where we talk about all things creepy and kooky. I'm your host Joshua Halstead, and today we are ranking the Child's Play franchise. That's right, all 7 of them. So let's just get started. At number 7 we have Child's Play 3. And I know some of you guys are now mad at me because I put this ranked even lower than Seed of Chucky. But hear me out. Seed of Chucky is a terrible film. Child's Play 3 is a better made film than Seed of Chucky. The reason why I personally think that this is less of an important and less of an enjoyable entry in the franchise than even Seed of Chucky is, they do nothing original in this film. It's the exact same story arc, character tropes, everything of the first 2 Child's Play films, only this time set in a military school. And you would think that a military school would be a cool setting for this kind of film. They don't use it at all. It's mostly just there to look drab and boring. There's all sorts of cool opportunities they could have done, they could have engaged in with this premise, and they don't at all. It's really kind of sad. At number 6 we have Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky sucks. It just does. It has no idea of when to be comedic and when to be serious. The premise is all over the place. The acting is really, really cheesy. The fourth wall breaks go from kind of funny to really bad. Most of the film just doesn't even work. The reason why I think this does stand as a little bit better than Child's Play 3 for this particular list is the fact that this actually at least tried to do something original and different with the franchise, even if it failed horribly. Number 5 is Curse of Chucky. I love Curse of Chucky, I really do, and this is when all the films from here out are good films, and that means it was kind of hard to rank these 5 films. But Curse of Chucky is a really enjoyable film. This is the film that brought the series back to being more serious in tone, returned the franchise to its former glory, as many people would say, and I think that they're right. It's a really, really good entry in the franchise. It's a really well-made film. It stands at an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. For me, the only 2 things that drop this just a little bit lower on the list is that the ending seems a bit far-fetched and the lighting is not amazing. And number 4 is Bride of Chucky. I really, really like Bride of Chucky. This is a film in the franchise that I have returned to multiple times. Mostly because this feels like a very weird and very elongated episode of like Elvira or something. Which means that it doesn't really feel like it belongs in the Child's Play franchise, but it is enjoyable enough to give a watch and even repeated watches. I think the cast is really good. I think that the humor mostly works well, and when they need to switch to being scary, it works to switch to be scary. I actually really like the lighting and the choice of visual aesthetic for the film. I think the fourth wall breaks in this one, as opposed to Seed, actually work well. I do think that there are a few small choices that just didn't quite work out as well as they wanted, and for that reason it falls number 4. Before I get into my last 3, I just want to state, all 3 of these films are fantastic films, and all 3 of them all were strongly considered to potentially be my number 1 on this list. They're all extremely close in ranking, but here they are. At number 3, Child's Play. I know some of you guys are really mad about that. I love the original Child's Play, I really do, and I think Tom Holland is a fantastic director. However, I do think the original Child's Play feels less like a horror movie and more like a procedural cop drama movie, which doesn't really make sense when it's a film about a killer doll running around. It just seems kind of strange and out of place. While I do love watching Chris Sarandon as the cop, and while I especially love watching Alex Vincent when he was young, doing all these crazy things and giving a really, really good child performance, I just don't think this is as good or as enjoyable of a film as the other 2 that haven't been ranked yet. So let's get to those. At number 2, we have Cult of Chucky. I really like Cult of Chucky. Last year's entry was a return to form. It was another return to form movie, right? It was a sequel to Curse of Chucky, which returned to former glory, and this showed that Don Mancini really understands what fans want and is giving them that. It takes a lot of risks, does a lot of original things, takes a lot of interesting twists and turns, and plays with the mythos of these characters and the franchise, but in a way that fans are genuinely excited for and waiting to see what happens next, which is awesome, because that's what I want. I think Jennifer Tilly is fantastic as Tiffany when she's in this film, though she's not in it much. I think that this setting in a psych ward is really good. That's been used a lot in horror films, but I think that it actually makes sense for the Child's Play franchise, and I think that they use it as well as they possibly could have used it. I also really love Fiona Dourif's portrayal of Nika in these films. I think that she's absolutely fantastic in these films, and this character is maybe my favorite character in the entire franchise. And at number 1 is Child's Play 2. Child's Play 2 is not the best film in this franchise, but I'm ranking it specifically on what I think are the most enjoyable and the most important film, and Child's Play 2 is by far the most fun in the entire franchise. The reason for that being that they took what the first one did and they did it better. They upped the kills. The ending, which does feel a lot like Terminator 2, is really cool. The entire thing set in the good guy's factory, including some really cool practical effects for doll melting, the googly eyes kill, just a bunch of the most iconic kills are in that scene. And aside from that, several of the most iconic moments and characters are introduced and shown in this film. So while it's not maybe the best technically made in the franchise, I do think that it's the most enjoyable in the franchise. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and have a great day.